this is something that we get asked so many questions about. And, our trainer, Michael, today came to me and said he'd had 2 calls about this one. And he'd been running certificate of registration training yesterday, one of his days within our class at the moment. And he said they had a long chat about it. And, we've got a lot of young people in our class this week. And there was a lot of discussion about the actual execution of an agency agreement. Now it's going to differ depending on how you're getting that agency agreement done. Now, this doesn't matter whether it's property management or whether it's sales. So let's just look at it as a listing agreement at this point. You're going out to do a listing appointment. Now, you're going to a property, or you may well be doing it over a webinar or on FaceTime or WhatsApp, or depending on where your property owner is. And if they're not anywhere near the actual property that you're listing, so there might be a whole range of different scenarios here. But at some point, you prepare the agreement. If you're there, you're at the property, you've inspected the property, everything's good, you may well get it signed on the spot, and you're leaving them with a copy of it. However, if you take it away and you prepare some marketing plans to go with it, you've prepared, you might have added, it might be a pre-1980s home, and you've put the Luceville Asbestos questionnaire. You're attaching that into it. So, if you're emailing it back to them, and you might be using DocuSign or any of the other, online document signatory formats or platforms, don't use Sign It first. Okay, now the reason for this, there's practical reasons for this. Send it out there with everything completed. You get your principal, your property owner to sign it. And whether that's DocuSign, or you're asking them to actually print it off and sign it, or insert a signature, or however you're doing that, probably DocuSign or one of those platforms would be obviously preferable and very efficient. Then they send it back to you. What if they've made changes all through it and they want things struck out, or they want certain things changed, and you've already signed it? Well, there's an agreement done. So in other words, you wait till it comes back, you make sure that everything is complete and fine. You then sign it, and that's when your 48 hours to get it returned to them kicks in. Okay, so obviously you sign it, you fix it, you make sure everything's there. If you're a certificate of registration holder, an assistant agent, obviously you also need to get that countersigned by a licensed agent to make it a valid agreement. And off it goes back to your property owner. So guys, make sure when you're executing your agency agreements that you're doing it in the right order, that you're not agreeing to something that your vendor, your landlord, has then changed, and you then got the argument about how that fits and how what you're going to agree to, and do you have an agreement or don't you have an agreement. Just look at the practical order of how that's done, and also about how when you're getting it back, once you send it back, they've signed it, you've sent it back, we're in business, let's get going. And get this property sold or managed or marketed, or wherever you are in that process of what you need to do. So, a good thing to remember when you're out there looking for more listings.